Everybody, how are you? Happy Friday, even though I keep thinking today is Saturday, because normally I would be working, but because of unused snow days, we have today off, which is really nice to have a 4-day weekend, because when I get back on Tuesday, we have, let's see, 12 class days left, which is crazy. Hey, True Texan, how are you? So thanks for being here, AMAC, K-Braze, Jana, nice to see you. Sinner, I thought you weren't going to be here, but thanks for being here. Pookie. Oh, really, True Texan? And I did see that I saw Reed Timmer. I don't know if he's live already, but I got a notification. He's out. He's saying from Texas to Ohio is expecting severe weather again. So I don't remember it being this active in the past. Maybe it was just because I wasn't that focused on it, but I feel like the weather that's happening is more severe. So I'm going to be talking about mostly the Greenfield, Iowa tornado that happened this past Tuesday, and it has been upgraded to an EF4 tornado. There was also strong winds / tornado in Temple, Texas area. I have a video about that. And then also there were very strong winds in Mexico, which caused a stage to collapse, killing 9 people and injuring dozens of others. So just a lot of wild weather going on. And it just seems like it's more than usual. Oh, really, Pookie? The warning started at 3 a.m. in Iowa. I really hope that it's, yeah, in the way that Reed Timmer, the title was Gorilla-Sized Hail. And then I don't remember what the other part of it was, because I just kind of honed in on gorilla-sized hail. And I was like, it's quite the description. But I will say that my thumbnail that I used for this live came from a video that Reed Timmer had uploaded earlier this week, and it was just, there is a clip, an Australian news source actually took part of Reed's video in for their clip, and just to see the number of vortices that were dancing together was terrifying. So I hope that everyone is, out west is safe, and hopefully, there's not more destruction. Yeah, True Texan, I don't remember it being, I don't know, I guess maybe it's because I do YouTube now, so I notice it more, but I just feel like it's more active than it normally is in a given period of time, I guess. Oh, thank you, Pookie. Gorilla size hail and tornado threat. Okay. Yes. So, I mean, God bless those storm chasers, because they get right into it and are able to, see it firsthand, and hopefully give people in the area more time to get to safety. However, based on some of what we're going to see, the fact that people survived in their basements, huddled in corners, and when you see what's left of their home, it's just, it's hard to believe that anyone could survive that. There have been 5 confirmed fatalities. 2 of them have been identified as a couple. Let me just, I don't want to misspeak their name. The Wiggins. Dean was 78. Pam was 77. And we'll talk about them more towards the end of the live. All right, so we're going to get started. Oh, you got the same unification, Pookie? Yeah, I was just like, what a title, but a good title at that. All right, so here we go. And again, this tornado, specifically the one in Greenfield, happened on Tuesday, and I believe it was around 4:30 in the afternoon. Again, I don't know the exact time, but I know it was afternoon time when the tornado hit.
We're going to begin with a deadly tornado outbreak. At least 20 twisters were reported in 3 states. Several people were killed and at least a dozen injured. The small town of Greenfield, Iowa was hit hard. And our Victor Akindo is there on the scene for us this morning. Good morning, Victor.
And the city of Greenfield is about 2,000 people. So very small town, and a town where pretty much everybody knows everybody. And I'm not sure if I have a clip with the drone footage, but to see the path that this tornado took through town, it just makes me so sad. So sad.
Sure.
Good morning, Robin. The town of Greenfield is hurting this morning. So many homes look like this now, a tornado leveling this one. Neighbors say that it happened within just a matter of minutes. Their lives totally upended. You can see clear inside to what was the kitchen. You can make out the refrigerator just next to it, that cabinet there.
And that is, when I saw this, it just makes you realize how powerful these storms are. And this tornado specifically was moving around 50 miles per hour. And according to the National Weather Service, they had a press conference yesterday, an update. This town was destroyed in about 1 minute. 1 minute. That's all it took for this town to be completely destroyed.
There, authorities confirming multiple people have died and at least a dozen were injured.
Oh, house gone. House gone. Oh
Overnight, deadly twisters ripping through the heartland.
If you're in Red Oak, please be in your shelter now.
Swaths of southern Iowa completely flattened in their path. Greenfield, just outside Des Moines, hit especially hard. Authorities say there were confirmed fatalities and at least a dozen people were taken away in ambulances.
We do believe we have everybody accounted for, but we just want to make sure that with our search efforts, obviously this tornado has devastated a good portion of this town and community.
Governor Reynolds proclaiming a disaster emergency for 15 counties.
There's just a bunch of crashing. I heard windows shattering, and I heard like branches from trees creaking and snapping.
Houses with roofs ripped off. This car flipped onto its hood.
I'm not normally a guy that gets scared, but I was scared.
His son.
I would have been very scared. Very scared. And just to see, I mean, this is where someone's house was. This is their foundation. And I'm going to back it up just a little bit because they do get into their story.
But I was scared.
His son's home ripped off its foundation.
I saw my house. I was first off glad I was not in it. But I mean, there's just all your memories in your own home, everything that you worked so hard to build, just gone.
Entire blocks wiped out. In nearby Carbon, debris flying everywhere.
Is somebody here?
Storm chasers rushing to this destroyed house.
And this is one of the videos that I had spoken of earlier this week in one of my lives where storm chasers were, chasing this tornado. And once they saw those homes being hit, they went and were saying like, call out. Is anybody here? And this appears to be someone's laundry room, possibly. This almost looks like a washer or dryer and a closet, which the rest of their house is completely gone.
Are you in shelter? All right, nobody's hurt.
Looking for survivors trapped under what remains of their home. While in Prescott, this wind farm on fire. Turbines destroyed once that powerful storm moved through.
And that, to me, when I saw the wind turbines, it was like they were just little, I don't even know, like plastic straws. When you take the straws and just kind of bend them in different positions, it was like they were, not these huge, massive entities.
That powerful storm moved through.
Hey, evil queen.
Many in the tight-knit community back in Greenfield still in shock.
To see all these homes that I've known my entire life to be completely flattened, completely gone, was very devastating and surreal.
Just heartbreaking scenes. The closest hospital sustained damage too. Now a triage center has been set up at Greenfield High School. Greenfield is home to about 2,000 people.
And the high school they had set up as well, but triage was also being held at a local lumber yard. So they had not only the school, but also triage was being set up at a nearby lumber yard.
Neighbors described this place as the type of town where everyone knows each other, and this morning, their hearts are broken.
It's terrible. Okay, so the next one I believe is the one, yes, this is the one from Australian News, which I thought it's very short, but they put a lot of information in a very short clip. It's just over a minute. And I chose to keep this one because it shows some of the visuals that, these storm chasers see as when they go out. Oh, wow, really, Pookie? The plant that makes those blades is about 10 miles from me. Yeah, just massive. Oh my gosh, Jana. My ex was a volunteer firefighter and got a call, tornado, and we raced to the home to find nothing. One step. And that visual reminds me, I had mentioned it at some point, we would go visit relatives when I was younger. We would go to Kansas every summer to see my cousins and my aunt and uncle. And there was one time where the sirens went off. There was a tornado, and it was just, a few streets from where my aunt and uncle were. And there was a house like that there where the houses around it were damaged, but then there was one house that was completely gone. And there were 3 steps. That's it. 3 steps up to what was the door. Everything else was completely gone. And I can't imagine how anyone must feel.
The moment they realise
we're going to miss the right side, debris coming down,
Mother Nature's fury is heading straight for them.
And that, let me just back up. This tornado right here, like, that is massive. Because normally, and I mean, I understand a lot of it is debris, dirt, things like that. But this thing is just massive compared to some of the other ones where you can see, you see the debris around it, but they're like these skinny cone-like tornadoes.
Nature's fury is heading straight for them. More than 24 tornadoes carving random paths.
Like this is massive. Like, this cone is massive. Like, this, it's insane to me that these are created by, just rotation, and then they construct until they hit the ground. Yeah, I mean,
carving random paths across central US states.
I was panicking. I mean, panicking. I thought I was going to be, boom, gone.
Gone like the town of...
here's the, so this is what I was referring to, the drone footage. And you can see exactly where the tornado, what its path was as it went through this town. Just complete destruction.
Greenfield, Iowa. Some here buried as the storm shredded everything around.
Like, that is massive. Massive. And I believe this might be the one where you'll be able to see the vortices.
And then the whole garage came down on top of me and I got dug out. I was probably under it for like a half an hour.
Others now struggle to find even fragments from the place they called home a day earlier.
It was actually all gone. Like, you can't even tell where we lived.
Rated as an EF3.
Oh, here it is. So this is part of, I believe, I could be mistaken, but Reed Timmer had a video similar to this where you could see at least 3 vortices moving.
The Greenfield twister likely had winds of 265 kilometers an hour. Iowa now showing what that does to turbines designed for the wind. The strip of states north from Texas, known as Tornado Alley, is in the middle of a near record year for the US, 860 twisters.
Holy crap. Okay, so this is the one that Reed Timmer had been filming as well. I mean, just that, I mean, I keep saying it, but like, that is massive.
Reported so far.
Oh, and sorry, I didn't mean to pause it there because he says there's like 800 and some tornadoes so far.
Reported so far. Year for the US, 860 twisters reported so far.
Sadly, we can confirm that there have been fatalities with this tornado.
This Texas tonight, as America's wild tornado season rolls on. In the United States, Tim Lester, 7 News.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I mean, you have a point, Drew Texan. We expect it as you expect massive snowstorms. The coast expects hurricanes. We just really do not get any warnings. That is true. I mean, seeing some of the videos, like, they can touch down in seconds. And speaking of hurricanes, I did see the National Weather Service had released, I wouldn't say a statement, but like that hurricane season is going to be much more active as well. So all right, so now this one again, this gets into some more survivor stories, and just seeing this image itself, like the trees just completely, I mean, I don't even know, it reminds me of, I don't know what it reminds me of. It just doesn't even look real. This little tree over here just completely mangled. And
this evening, the Iowa State Patrol confirmed the worst. At least 2 fatalities in Greenfield.
And again, that has been increased, unfortunately, to 5 fatalities.
In Adair County, and at least 12 others were also hospitalized with injuries. Deputies did not release the names of the victims and say more information will come tomorrow. WHO 13's Andy Fales joins us live outside of Greenfield in Adair County. And Andy, the tornado destroyed much of the town.
Yeah, Janae and Elias, how many tornadoes have we covered in our time here in Iowa? And they all seem to play out the same way. An absolutely terrible day of weather, followed up by a night that is suddenly clear as a bell. And that's exactly what we've got here today, right now in Adair County. Behind me, the town of Greenfield is now without power, and it's going to be that way for quite a while. Law enforcement.
Oh man, Jana, I was in Hurricane Ian. It was expected to hit us directly. So we evacuated 45 minutes south, and it ended up hitting us right where we were. I'm freaking out with the predictions for this year. Oh, 17 to 25 named storms this year. Hey, SoFlo.
Enforcement has closed the town and cleared the streets. There is a curfew in effect until 7 a.m. tomorrow. When the people of Greenfield return tomorrow, they will have a mountain of work ahead of them, only a bit of which they were able to begin today. We know this was a deadly tornado, at least 2 fatalities and perhaps more, and then lots of injuries on top of that. The hospital itself was hit, further complicating things. Mobile triage units had to be set up along the road to treat those who were injured. Many homes and businesses completely destroyed. Everywhere you turn, there is a total loss of property. And everywhere you turn, there are people of Greenfield feeling at once terribly unlucky and incredibly fortunate. Let's hear from a few.
I've lived here in this town for 50 years. To see it look like this breaks my heart.
Debris started to hit me. I made it right in front of that Ranger pickup over there and pulled in between my mom and dad's garage and house, got out and tried to run into the house, got hit with some debris and it dropped me. So I just turtled up behind the house and then the whole garage came down on top of me and I got dug out. I was probably under it for like a half an hour. But I'm okay. I'm really fortunate. I got really lucky.
I mean, and I would say he is really lucky. The fact that he was still outside and somehow the garage fell onto him, which in my opinion probably protected him from being tossed about.
Fuck you.
Were you scared?
Yeah, really scared.
Did you grab all your stuff to try to save it?
I had a blanket and a pillow, and that's the only thing I had with my phone. And I was and I had my dogs, and I was squeezing my dogs because I was scared.
What do you do tonight?
I'm gonna come back tomorrow, bring garbage bags, and try to clean up some more. And then one thing I really wanted to get was my dad was in the Marines, and I had his uniform in the study closet, and I can't find it. So we're going to try, my sons are going to come and try to dig through if we can and find his uniforms.
We heard so many stories like that today, stories from people who simply have to step back and wonder to themselves, what is still here? I have to say, guys, that I am heartbroken for this town. We have gotten to know Greenfield well over the years. We've been here twice for RVTV. We have made friends here. We have told so many stories here. I'll close with this. This may sound funny, but I'll point out that somehow everywhere I went today, I ran into people who were somehow still smiling, laughing even, somehow able to put things in perspective and understand that even with as bad as things look today, they believe they'll find a way to get through this.
Smiling as their hearts are breaking. All right, so much damage in the community of Greenfield tonight. Thanks, Andy.
Yeah. Many of them have already started to, a lot of debris has already been cleared out, and many who have, videos that I've watched have said they vow to rebuild. And we're going to get to one story that, that one woman who was looking for her dad's Marine uniform. And, she knew where it was, but it wasn't there anymore. And, there's a story later that there was a photograph from Greenfield that was found about 180 miles away near the border of Iowa and Minnesota. And I mean, some of their belongings may be hundreds of miles away. And I hope that, that woman will be able to find, her dad's uniform, because those are the things that I think hurt the most. So this next story is one where this family was huddled in their basement, and when you see what's left of their home, it is a true miracle, in my opinion, that they are still alive.
And as we continue to survey the damage from the deadly tornado, we are starting to see truly how large this tornado was. Our Dana Searles was just outside of Greenfield, where a family farm took a direct hit.
This is the corner the Queck family protected themselves in, while bricks fell right on top of them as they took a direct
Oh, snap. And there's a wind turbine right behind her. I didn't notice that when I watched this earlier. I mean, just like a bent straw. Like, just... it's crazy.
Hit from Tuesday's tornadoes, completely flattening their near-century-old family farm.
Well, it's been my life.
A 5-generation farm flattened.
You could hear it come, and then it was just like a bunch of crunching, and a brick wall fell on us, and then it was over. And so we lifted up the blanket, we looked up, and it was just like open sky because everything was gone.
A family of 4.
My husband was up against the wall with our 1-year-old, and then I was over our 3-year-old, and it was the cement wall right there, or the brick wall that fell on us.
Piled in the corner.
And it just hit me in the lower back, and my husband had to push it off so that we could get out from underneath of it.
As they faced the direct line of...
Oh, and I just noticed in the background, here is one of those turbines that's on fire. Not necessarily the same one in those videos, but it does appear that there's one on fire in the back.
Direct line of Tuesday's storms.
We got up and we kind of looked at each other, and everything was just gone. And we walked up our stairs and just saw everything was gone. Our house, we have tons of sheds and barns, and there was nothing left.
Bob Queck was born in this house.
That's hard to describe.
Now, 87 years later, is facing the rubble.
There isn't a single building left. Everything is... There isn't a board on top of another anywhere on this farmstead.
While also seeing the power of community.
We had cars out here on the road for a long ways on each side. People that came. We had 2 school buses come from Earlham.
It's just so nice to have so much help because it is super overwhelming.
And showing his perseverance and positivity through it all.
It's a new chapter. We started a new book. And it'll be interesting to see what that turns out to be.
Well, it was heartbreaking just to see all of that damage out there, but thankfully they are all okay. A few bruises along the way. They tell me they are just 6 years away from hitting that Century family farm. They're going to rebuild and come back stronger.
Absolutely. A tragic, heartbreaking story. Remarkable, though, that they are all still here to tell that story. We can be thankful for that.
Absolutely, we can.
Dana, thank you.
Yeah. And again, you know, that sense of community that a lot of them have been speaking of is huge. Because like they said, like, where do you start? And in their case, their entire farm is gone. Like, no building remained. So, you know, it's definitely daunting. Oh, yeah. I always say I'm going to move away from the snow, but every area seems to have their own weather issues. And I will say, at least here in New York, this past winter was really mild. Really mild. The fact that schools here gave back 5 snow days was unheard of. I mean, we might get 1 or 2 back, if that, but to have 5 snow days go unused is unheard of. What do you think is the safest state to live in? That's a good question. I don't know. I'm going to ask Google and see what they say. Okay, so in 2021, actually, I'll share this instead. In 2021, U.S. News and World Report analyzed resiliency data from the Environmental Protection Agency and found that the top 5 most climate resilient cities in the U.S. were Anchorage, Alaska, Honolulu, Hawaii, Spokane, Washington, Eugene, Oregon, and Santa Barbara, California. Let's see what it... Oop, I don't know what this is doing. Okay, so here we go. So it says the top 10 counties considered by the analysis to currently be the safest from the 6 disaster risk factors are San Miguel County, Colorado, Mesa County, Colorado, Uintah County, Utah, Sagachi County, Colorado. Okay, so we have Pondera County, Montana, Summit County, Colorado. We have another Utah, Colorado, Utah. So Colorado, Utah, we've got 1 Montana, and McKinley County, New Mexico. And then it says a second list compiled by the firm looks ahead 30 years and assumes progressively worse impacts from climate change. In that scenario, the list changes a bit. McKinley County, New Mexico remains at the top, but the rest shifts to, and then they give a new order. So that is interesting. Let's see. Okay, so it does say the analysis looked at the current risk factors of wildfires, inland flooding, severe thunderstorms, winter storms, earthquakes, and hurricanes for 154 million properties across the U.S. It doesn't take into account some more specific climate-related risks, such as stress on water systems due to drought or the kind of extreme heat waves that are becoming more common in parts of the West. So it's saying New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado. But then what Google said was completely different. And that's the link they gave me to go to. Let's see what this says. Okay, so then this one, I mean, this is, I don't know, it's from a site called Long Distance Moving. I'm not sure how trustworthy that might be. But yeah, there we go. Hey, Scorpio, how's it going? What was the record snowfall since you've lived there? Let me look up. I mean, I remember as a kid having so much snow we could make like snow caves. I remember, I think it was senior year of high school. We got 2 big snowstorms back to back. We had one on Christmas and one on New Year's, and each of them were at least a foot apiece. And then I remember when I was living in Philadelphia, we got a storm, and I mean, Philadelphia doesn't normally get snow, but we were snowed in for at least 2 days, if not. We started like leaving after close to 3 days. We were able to get shoveled out. But that I don't really know what the most is. So I was just looking up. So there was one in 1993. This is in March. So this was, I don't think this is the one because we had one during Christmas, but March 13th to 14th, 1993, 26.6 inches of snow fell. So just over 2 feet. And the record for Albany is from 1888. So March 11th to the 14th, 1888, 46.7 inches of snow. 46.7 inches of snow. Yeah, so Sinner, I'm thinking it had to be one of those 2 years that I remember where we had that snow Christmas and then New Year's. I know I was in high school. That's all I really know. Oh, Jana, I just asked ChatGPT and they say California, Hawaii, Oregon, Washington, Maine, and Alaska. Interesting. See, Maine gets a lot of snow though, so it's interesting. So this next clip is where we get into the memories that people have lost due to these tornadoes, and this kind of just talks about this organization that collects said items and hopes to get them back to their owners.
After the tornado flattened homes and destroyed a lifetime's worth of sentimental belongings. WHO 13's Justin Cernsey is live in Greenfield this morning with how organizations are working together to provide a small piece of normalcy for the people there. Good morning, Justin.
Good morning, Kaylin. Yeah, we're less than 48 hours removed from that deadly tornado on Tuesday. And one of the places that sprang into action was the St. John's Catholic Church here in Greenfield at the corner of Northeast 3rd Street and Northeast Elm, just about a half a mile east of the Nottoway Valley High School. And this has become this center for donations, and it's been an overwhelming show of strength and power that Iowa Nice has had. And one thing that's really grown out of it is where we are now, outside of where those donations are, but the memorabilia room. This is where people are bringing in items that they find across the...
And this is where I find it so heartwarming that people will bring in items that don't belong to them, and they want them to get back to their rightful owner because, they had said initially with this tornado, they closed off the roads to Greenfield because they were afraid of, you know, thieves or vandals. And to have to worry about that in such a horrific time is awful. So this, I just felt, was
the county, across the community after that storm. I'm joined once again by Bethany Kintley, who has been just received a stack full of items, and we're talking, you know, pictures, postcards, some Bibles. What has it been to see items recovered that maybe these residents thought were lost forever?
Right. We worked very closely with Jake Raleigh from the United Cajun Navy, and that was one of the first things he wanted to establish, was that we had a room, a place where people could bring items. And so we've just been receiving them the past few days, and we're trying to get the word out that, number one, if you're finding items, pictures, wedding dresses, quilts that aren't yours, please drop them off here. And then we're also trying to let members know, families know as they're coming in to pick up supplies, that we have this room, and in stopping them, to, you know, encouraging them to come back when they have time to go through, and that we'll just keep items safe for them until then.
Yeah, here in Iowa, we have a love for quilts. We know how much time and effort and how much meaning those can have. Baby blankets, you mentioned this dress. I mean, any item, big or small, is going to have sentimental value. It doesn't have to be, but this is.
And just to think, someone's wedding dress, someone found someone else's wedding dress and brought it to this church so that they, you know, someone could come when they're ready and get their belongings back.
Is possibly a wedding dress. Think about the memories, if this was passed down generations or what have you, but a piece of something so big that some people thought maybe is gone forever. When you see items like that, or even some small, like a kid's toy, a bed, bathtub that could have so much meaning, how does that make you feel as someone in this community, and knowing that you yourself and your,
like, just photos? Here you see, like, this is one of those Kodak, oh my gosh, I can't even think of, VHS tape, all these photos, little trinkets, you know, things that mean to me, would mean the most.
your family have items like that?
It's just phenomenal, the support we have seen for us to be able to do this. And we have a full-time volunteer in here. It has grown just that much. So it is just important for us to be able to offer this, and to offer a place for families to come in and look for items that they are missing. And we'll continue to do that throughout this response.
Yeah, hopefully some people, you know, can see some of this video. I mean, there's a baby picture right here, if Jackie, if you're able to get that. But obviously some big time items that you want to have forever, and it's not maybe top of mind right now for these residents here, but in time you start realizing, wow, you wish you had certain things, and it might be here at St. John's Catholic Church. Outside of the memorabilia, of course, this is a place where people can come and get food. You're getting ready at 7 o'clock to start serving breakfast. Michael's food from Lennox came in, and what has that been? Yesterday was the first day of 3 meals here, seeing people who don't have their homes, and we're able to get some comfort food right here at St. John's Catholic Church for free, beginning at 7 a.m. all the way until 9 p.m.
Right. We offered 3 meals yesterday. We'll continue to be having the 3 meals today. We know Hy-Vee is working with us. They're uptown. We've had several food trucks come in, but just the support from our cattlemen and our pork producers. They were here grilling all day yesterday. They'll be back. We have the Iowa pork producers coming out tonight. So it's just been overwhelming, but it's just so important for us to have a place where people can come and take a break, get food, see if they have pictures here, pick up supplies. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, Mother Nature definitely took its toll on the community in Adair and Adams counties, but you see that humankind is really prevailing. Bethany mentioned the food. 4,000 meals from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., over 2,000 hamburgers. Guys, there's only 2,000 residents in Greenfield. This is an overwhelming show of strength and resilience here in Greenfield this morning, Kaylin.
Yeah, great to see there, and it puts into perspective of Iowans helping out their neighbors in Greenfield. Justin Sorensen reporting live for us this morning. Thank you, Justin.
And I agree. Yeah. Nice to see people being kind. Absolutely. So there was, I I had a couple of videos that talked about reuniting animals with their owners, because we know in any natural disaster, animals also need help. And I couldn't find a clip that was succinct enough, in my opinion. There was one, but it didn't really talk about reuniting so much as it was more for farmers who, it was the calves that had broken legs or cows that had been injured, horses. And this veterinary clinic was doing all of it for free. So I will find that, and I will put the link in the description after the live if anyone is interested. I just, for time's sake, it was a little bit more lengthy, and I decided not to put it in. So this next clip is where the title of this live came from, and this photo of this young girl and her friend was found just about 180 miles away from Greenfield, Iowa, near the Minnesota border. And it's amazing how they found this girl and are now able to return this photo to her.
Thank you. Well, not all the property people lost in Greenfield is in piles of rubble where homes once stood. Some of their belongings traveled great distances, carried by the tornado's ferocious wind. Our Connor O'Neill found out just how far some of those precious mementos traveled.
Yeah, Stephanie, this is actually a really remarkable story. The photo behind me, Morgan Newman and her inseparable best friend growing up, Erica. And the reason why this photo is behind me, the Greenfield tornado carried this photo through the air across the whole state of Iowa.
We were inseparable going into our college years, and she's just been a really good friend.
A precious memory captured in a photo that had been precious for Morgan Newman. Newman's mother had been keeping it at her house in Greenfield for years. But when the unimaginable happened...
And here you can see just the width of that tornado. You can see just that path of destruction, how it passed through Greenfield. Again, it was upgraded to an EF4 tornado, and unfortunately 5 individuals have lost their lives.
On Tuesday afternoon, that photo flew into the air with the rest of her mother's belongings as an EF4 tornado ripped through the city. But what happened next is just incredible.
Oh my gosh. So just looking at this house, this drone footage, like a dollhouse. The roof is gone, and it looks like there's a bunch of debris inside one of these rooms. But just crazy.
Incredible.
That someone had tagged me in this and asked if it was me. Of course, I had much longer hair then. It was pretty crazy. Like I never would have imagined my belongings, my belongings, my mom's belongings being that far up north.
How far up north? The photo of Newman and her friend Erica flew 175 miles to McIntyre near the...
So I didn't realize they had a map in this clip, but you see Greenfield on the bottom left, and McIntyre is the top right. 174 miles this photo went.
The Minnesota border in just one day.
I had reached out to the meteorologist that had posted it and said, hey, like I'd love to connect and have it mailed back to me. And Sydney's name popped up and we connected.
The photo posted by our meteorologist, Chris Kubal,
we'll continue to build on that southern line.
Caught Newman and McIntyre's Sydney Patterson's attention, and they connected.
After the calm of the storm, I just happened to look out my son's window, and something just like flew out of the air, kind of like the cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
But this wasn't the only Newman family photo the tornado took north.
It was just crazy because I was just telling her that the very same thing happened to my sister.
This photo of Newman's older sister also flew from their mother's damaged Greenfield home all the way up to Boone County.
When the photo comes back, it's just going to be an extra reminder of everything that my family's been through.
I mean, it just kind of shows you, it's just crazy how far some of that debris can really travel stuff. You know, we've been talking the last day or two, and he's been posting stuff. There's been people that have been finding checks and just other photos. It's just incredible how that storm's brought all these things this far across the state.
Just another indication of how powerful these storms really were.
Yeah, and those photos too are going to be returned to those families too. I want to add that as well.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Right, Connor, thank you.
And speaking of, I had brought up the animals. I decided I am going to show that clip because one thing that he mentioned was also that social media is where a lot of people should go to get to share information. Like if you, like with this case, if you found a photo, if you any other thing. I'm sure there are Facebook groups that have already popped up, but that's what, this veterinary clinic had said. Social media is where, you want to keep looking and checking and reaching out.
Communities hit hard by the tornado have a long road of recovery ahead of them as they continue to pick up the pieces. While many are just thankful to be alive, there has been a growing concern as residents continue to search for their missing pets. Our Justin Surrency is live this morning at the Greenfield Vet Clinic, where four-legged family members are receiving care. Good morning, Justin.
Hey, good morning, Kaylin. Yeah, despite homes being flattened and people, being...
And I just realized this is the same man who was at the church who did the reporting on the lost belongings.
With just the clothes on their backs, they are thankful to have survived this tornado, and the recovery efforts underway. It includes, like you said, our four-legged friends, which provide comfort, stability, and a sense of belonging and familyness, because some people, it is their only family. And one of those people in charge of reuniting some of those pets with residents who thought maybe they wouldn't see their furry friend ever again is the owner here of Greenfield Veterinary Clinic, Cletus Mossback. And Cletus, you've been taking in animals that have been lost, but also some of these homeowners that lost their homes don't have a place for their pets. So you're the person to call. What have you noticed when these pets come in? I know humans, deal with despair and tragedy, but you're noticing something in these pets as well.
Yes. I mean, of course, the obvious, sometimes we have to treat injuries on some of these pets. We've had some eye injuries from debris flying around, head contusions, things like that. The animals, of course, they're terrified. They've been.
And that's the thing is, some of these animals, the ones that have been found and located, but then there's others, cats especially, they'll hide. And dogs too, like they're just terrified. Like this, veterinarian said, just they're traumatized as well. And they don't understand it. Whereas as humans, we can reason and somewhat understand what's going on. Animals don't understand. They just know that, something bad has happened and now they're scared. Oh, Scorpio, I did see that. When there was someone had said, that's a dog or something like that. And they're like, come on, buddy. And they got him inside the car. Yeah, that was, I barely even saw the dog. And then I heard them say dog. So I had to rewind and I was like, oh my gosh, that poor thing.
Through quite a bit. Yeah, that's the main thing. Once they get in and get settled down into the clinic here, they get kind of back to normal. But yes, we've been taking in as many animals as we can. A lot of owners now are calling, finding their pets and coming and get them. So yeah, things are starting to kind of level off, you might say, as people are trying to get back to halfway normal.
Yeah, and it's going to take a while. We're just less than 48 hours removed from that tornado, but you've had about a dozen animals at your peak at one time that you're caring for. What would you say is the best way for those that either find a pet or that are missing one to maybe get the word out? Call you, obviously, here at the Greenfield Veterinary Clinic, too.
Right. If they can take pictures of the animals and get them posted on Facebook, that seems to be, social media is a real good spot. A lot of people use it and to find their lost pets and that sort of.
And so that, I noticed that with a lot of natural disasters, Facebook seems to be the place to go for those types of things, with the groups. I haven't seen so much on other sites, but hopefully, those that are missing their animals are able to find them soon. Hey, Truth Seeker, how are you?
Sort of thing. And it's a quick way to get the pets back to their owners. So that's what we recommend. And if there are any identifying tags, rabies tags, anything like that, chips, anything like that helps to reunite the pet with their owner. So
yeah, you're taking care of dogs and cats, but you're learning that for some of the farmers out there, it's taken a while to see and check on their livestock, but they're learning more and more each day. And for some, it's been a bit grim.
Right. As of yesterday, we've had farmers call. They had cow-calf pairs out in the pasture that got hit with that tornado, and it's killed cows, broken legs on calves. So yeah, a lot of issues to deal with, especially if the animals are still alive. They have to be euthanized. So yeah, it's not good for some of those guys that were in the direct path of that tornado out in the country.
So still monitoring and getting an idea of what's lost and what has been, kept good here in Greenfield, whether it's farm or dogs and family pets. But Cletus, thank you for your time and for helping those in the community reunite with their dogs and cats. And that's been a huge reunification process to bringing some normalcy. But for now, Kaylin, the best way, post that picture on Facebook. If you're in Greenfield, call Cletus Moss back here at the Greenfield Veterinary Clinic, and hopefully we can get some people reunited with, many treat them just as family, and it's significant to find your pets. But things are happening for the good here out in Greenfield.
Absolutely. We've seen those posts on social media, like you said, so let's get them reunited with their families. Justin Stearns reporting live for us this morning. Thank you, Justin.
Yep. All right. So let me... Oh, no. Stop. Pause. So actually, I'm going to move to an article next just because it kind of goes with... so this is how you can help those in the tornado if you should choose. Oh my gosh, look at that truck. And of course it started playing, but my gosh. So it says authorities say multiple people were killed and at least 3 dozen were injured Tuesday, May 21st, 2024, when a violent tornado blew through Greenfield, Iowa. Initial surveys confirmed the damage indicated at least an EF3, but it was upgraded to an EF4 on Thursday with estimated peak winds of 175 to 185 miles per hour. Here are tips if you're looking to help those affected by the Greenfield tornado. Greater Greenfield Community Foundation. So again, St. John's Catholic Church, which we saw in that previous clip. They have said there is no more room for physical donations, and said all monetary donations should go to the Greater Greenfield Community Foundation. And I will put this link in the description after the live, but I will also put it in chat. Red Cross, Salvation Army, they have food and water drop off, which unless you're local would not be easy to do. There is also a disaster recovery fund. And so they have the Adair County, Adams County, Clay County, which Clay County also had a tornado hit, and one person unfortunately did lose their life in that tornado as well. Humboldt County, Story County, and Warren County. And I want to see, how do I get that video back? Oh, here we go. I'm going to just see.
New Yorkers, to travel to France comfortably without breaking the bank, choose French B.
The Iowa State Patrol has confirmed 4 people were killed in Greenfield during yesterday's tornado outbreak. They say at least 35 others were hurt there, but more could be hurt and not report their injuries. Heartbreaking images from the Southwest.
Oh my God, like this, I mean, here's someone's roof. Well, part of their roof and part of their, room. And then this tree, it's just piles of stuff. I mean,
Iowa town of Greenfield.
Like this truck, insane.
Continue to pour in after yesterday's deadly tornadoes. This is a satellite.
Oh, I have not seen this. So this is a satellite image of the tornado path. And you can see where it just went right through town.
Image of the tornado's path in Greenfield. You see the scar on the ground. The National Weather Service says that tornado was at least an EF3. The rating could change depending on what the surveys find.
Crazy. All right. I don't know how to stop this. Stop. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to move next to the 2 scratch that. The 2 of the deceased, 2 of the victims of this tornado, who have been identified. So it says, incredibly loved, family searches for mementos of Greenfield couple killed in tornado. And again, this is from this afternoon. So we'll take a look at.
We each have moments of happiness, which define our present and move our world.
And this is how you know Google is watching, because I actually was just looking into buying a Bellicon rebounder yesterday. I'm between 2 different brands, and Bellicon was one of them. So Google is watching. Google is watching.
We're learning more about the victims who died in the tornado. Dean and Pam Wiggins were 2 of the 4 who lost their lives in Greenfield. Their picture here.
Okay, so there was another source that said 5 had lost their lives. So I stand corrected. It is 4 individuals, which is 4 too many.
One say the Wiggins were incredibly loved, not just by their family, but by the entire community. We're still waiting to learn the names of the other 2 victims.
Okay, so maybe if I hit.
We each have moments of happiness, which define.
Stop it. Okay, so it says 2 of the 4 people killed in the deadly Greenfield tornado have been identified. Dean Wiggins, 78, and Pam Wiggins, 77, both of Greenfield, died from the storm, according to their son, Todd. On Thursday, he tried to find any of his grandparents' mementos that remained after the tornado demolished their home. Where did that go? Oh, here. I don't know why it did that. It just okay. So mementos that remained after the tornado demolished their home, leaving little more than its foundation. He described them as incredibly loved by not only our family, but the entire town. Tuesday's tornado has been rated an EF4 by the National Weather Service. At least 4 people died from the storm, and approximately another dozen people were treated for injuries. And the last thing I want to share in regards to Greenfield is just this article that popped up that I found with more severe weather moves through Midwest as Iowa residents clean up tornado damage. And again, this was from today. It was updated at 6:06. And actually, let me just refresh because maybe they updated it. Nope, same. Okay. So it says several tornadoes were reported in Iowa and Illinois as storms downed power lines and trees on Friday, just days after a deadly twister devastated one small town. A large storm system began overnight in Nebraska before traveling across central Iowa and into Illinois. And I hadn't realized that Nebraska had gotten heavy, heavy rain, which caused severe flooding in certain areas. A weak tornado touched down in suburban Des Moines, according to the National Weather Service, which was also assessing damage from several other reported twisters south of Iowa City and near Moline, Illinois. Moline. I think it's Moline. No injuries or deaths were reported. The storm also brought rain that was heavy in some areas of Iowa, where totals have reached as much as 8 inches over the last week. Wow. Also Friday, a church caught fire in Madison, Wisconsin, as a thunderstorm rolled through the area. Nate Mull, who lives 2 doors down from the Holy Redeemer Catholic Church, said he heard a zap, zap, zap electrical sound, followed by a loud crack of thunder. Firefighters extinguished the blaze. In Oklahoma, a tornado was on the ground for about an hour Thursday evening in Jackson County and neighboring counties as a slow-moving storm moved through. According to Ryan Bunker, a meteorologist with the Weather Service's Norman, Oklahoma office. News outlets reported downed power lines and outages and damage to some structures. So severe weather was expected in areas around the U.S. throughout the long Memorial Day weekend. I know we're supposed to get severe storms tomorrow, with a strong risk of tornadoes on Saturday in the Great Plains, particularly Kansas and Oklahoma. In New Mexico, strong winds and low humidity could fuel wildfires. It's really important that if you have outdoor plans to make sure that you remain aware of approaching thunderstorms. May is the peak time of year for tornadoes and for severe weather across the United States. The latest severe weather comes as residents of Greenfield, Iowa, a community of about 2,000, have been cleaning up after a strong tornado on Tuesday. Friday's storm system inflicted heavy rains, dime-sized hail, and wind gusts of 75 miles an hour on a community still recovering after 4 people were killed and 35 others injured when a tornado destroyed more than 100 homes and crumpled turbines at a nearby wind farm. A 5th person was killed about 25 miles from Greenfield when her car was blown off the road in a tornado. Okay, so that must be where the 5th person was mentioned in another news story that I had read. And they talk about the Wiggins again. Not far away, Bill Yount was cleaning up. It's like somebody took a bomb, said Yount, gesturing to the land covered with wood debris, trees stripped of their leaves, heavy machinery and equipment to clean up the mess. He waited out the storm in a closet. The National Weather Service determined that 3 separate powerful tornadoes carved paths totaling 130 miles across Iowa on Tuesday. In addition to tornadoes, Saturday storms could bring extremely large hail. The risk of strong tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds shifts into parts of Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky on Sunday. On Monday, the Mid-Atlantic region could see some severe thunderstorms. Tornado risks increase in May because cold, dry air that occasionally flows down from Canada clashes with moist, warm air from the Gulf of Mexico and strong upper-level winds in the atmosphere. All right, so that's what I have in regards to the Greenfield tornado. I did have a couple of more clips, but I don't think they'll flow with what we've done. Sunday is the day that Ryan is really worried about. Interesting. Oh, thank you, Pookie. That was the first fatality, the one in the car. And there was one video that I saw. I don't know if it was from this one or a different one, but it was a traffic cam. And you could see cars, you know, it was like a 4-lane highway. And you can see cars going either way. And a semi ended up tipping over. What I wondered is before the, and let me see if I can find it. There was another truck that actually drove into the tornado. And I was like, here, they're talking about the truck that blew over, but what about the semi that drove into the tornado? Let's see. And I don't even know. Oh, maybe this is it. Yes, here it was. This was Iowa. Okay, so let me share my screen again. And I'm just going to fast forward through. Oh, here. Okay, so we have, they're going to show this traffic cam. And so this truck right here is the truck that ends up flipping onto its side. And so you can see cars coming, right? There's cars coming in towards us and then this truck. Well, this truck ends up stopping because I believe he probably sees the tornado. There's an oil truck or an oil tanker that flies by him driving into the tornado. And I want to know what happened to that driver.
This is where the tornado is.
Right, so you can see the winds are picking up.
And
This
look
guy
at the
stopped.
conditions. They're getting real crazy.
And there's
Wow.
going to be a tanker momentarily.
This is Nevada right
here.
now under this.
And you can see the tornado or the wind debris in this area. So this tanker goes by this truck who stopped. And I'm curious, what happened to this truck? Because he legit drives into the tornado.
Under this. It is still PDS, yeah.
And you
PDS.
can see him hit his brakes like, oh crap, or oh my gosh. But I want to know what happened to him.
Tornado warning. Things are getting blown over.
Because
Look
then
at
this
that.
truck gets blown over because there's the tornado. You see it moving.
Oh man,
yeah, it's
what is
right
this?
Going right between the two. Going right between Nevada.
So I want to know what happened to that tanker. Like, what? And they haven't said, all of the videos that I've seen talk about, you know, a violent tornado flipped the truck in Iowa. Okay. Well, what about the truck that drove into it? Because it's hard to see because the traffic cam's a little off, but you can see, and I'm going to play it without stopping it. You can see the swirl on the top of your screen.
Right now under this. It is still PDS, yeah. PDS tornado warning. Things are getting blown over. Look at that. Oh man,
yeah,
what is this?
Going right between the two. Going right between Nevada and
Justin, what was that? Was that the tornado? The camera's gone.
Yeah, it was the tornado. That tanker is 100 times more aerodynamic and heavier. I don't care. Like, I'd be like, no. I mean, I guess. But, I mean, not when it's a, you know, EF4. No, thank you. Okay, the one that blew over was most likely empty. Do not drive next to a trailer that is weaving in the highway and driver cannot control it. Makes sense. When that fatality came across the TV, we started getting guests ready for the plan if it came our way. Oh, geez. Yeah, brake lights and gone. And so I'm wondering if it, I mean, and the camera does end up going out. So there's no way to, obviously if someone found that truck, they would know what happened, but the footage does end. So before we go, I do have one last video that's not related to natural disasters or anything. It's actually a really fun, heartwarming story about a little boy, excuse me, who told his teacher that she was too old because she had gray hair and couldn't dance. So she challenged him to a dance-off. And this I just happened to see just before I went live, and I said, you know what? We're going to watch this. So this is in Kensington, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And so this little boy, so it says, Philadelphia teacher student go viral for veggie dance throwdown. And it's a super cute story. And this little boy, I mean, he is the cutest thing.
Close to 20 million people around the globe have seen this video of a second grader and his teacher throw down in a veggie dance-off. I had a chance to meet the stars of this viral video at Deep Roots Charter School in Kensington and found out firsthand just how they won the hearts of the internet.
Now do the veggie dance. Now do the veggie dance.
It all started to teach Ahmad a lesson, and that was, he was telling me, oh, Mrs. Laurie, you old, you look at your hair. So I said to myself, I'm going to challenge this boy to a dance-off.
And so she did, he said, you're old, look at your hair. And so she said, okay, let's go.
Because I said to myself, I'm going to dance rings around this boy, and he doesn't even know it yet.
And I hope I don't get copyright struck for this veggie dance song. I've never heard of it, but apparently the lyrics are, eat 'em up, I love cheese, I love my veggies.
Did you expect those moves from Miss Laurie?
No.
No?
I never knew she could dance like that.
Yeah, right? Although I'm telling you, I'm watching the video and I could see in her face that it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
8-year-old Ahmad Dennis and his second grade teacher at Deep Roots Charter School, Mrs. Regina Laurie, are now viral TikTok stars. Their video has more than 18 million views. Comments include,
ate that up. She ate you up.
People were saying things like, she left no crumbs.
That's hysterical. I cannot wrap my head around all this.
Well, that's funny. One of the comments was, she left no crumbs. That's funny.
Laurie has been an educator for more than 30 years, but no surprise here, she also has a bachelor's in dance from Temple University. Here's why she's thrilled this video is viral across the globe.
I think that I've led the way in terms of having other teachers, not be afraid to kick off their shoes literally and just try it. Just show that you're also a person behind that role that we have.
Dean of Students Jakara Grant posts videos like this all the time to show the love, confidence, and support being poured into these kids. I love the comment where someone said, this is a real life Abbott Elementary.
It is. It's like when you come to the school, you feel loved. We'll cheer you on no matter what it is.
Yes, I love that. Spread it. This is contagious.
All the joy, spread all the positivity because we all need it.
And they do this every Friday. Fun Friday.
Let children be children. A lot of times we push children and we just push books in front of them. Let them be kids.
And always remember,
give it all you got because you only have one shot.
I want to go to this school.
Okay, first of all, he's hysterical. And I love that she's like, he said you're old and you got gray hair. So she's like, all right, I'm gonna go out. And She ate.
Yes,
Showed him.
she did. So shout out to our 10 a.m. producer, Jess, who is on maternity leave right now with her twin baby girls, who found this video and something in her heart said, this is Philly. I know this is Philly. So she went down the rabbit hole and she said, it is Philly. Like she could tell that these are our people, right? And I'm telling you, it is like a real life Abbott Elementary to watch them, lift up and raise up our kids. I mean, these are the jewels in our crown. I say it all the time.
I love how they were infusing fun into the school system. So great.
It's got 18 million views for a reason because we need to see more videos like this. The kids do need to have fun.
I think we're going to need them in the studio for a dance off.
Yeah, so 18 million views as of this video, which, oh, and actually this was from 3 days ago. It just came into my feed. So May 20th is when the story aired. So they probably have a lot more than, actually, if I go to TikTok, I might be able to find it. Just to see. Let's see, veggie dance off. Oh, here it is. Nope, that's somebody else's. I don't think I'm going to be able to find the original, but one of the, oh, here it is, 4.1 million views. I believe this is the, or no, wait, because they said 18 million views, right, on the one. So this might be someone else's post. So I can't find the original, but if I do, I will share it on my community page. Oh, wait, here, it's a duet. So here we go. Okay, so it seems like a lot of people are just duetting the news story and not the actual video. So I'll have to try to find it. Yeah, I agree, Cape Ray. She was out there cutting a rug for sure. For sure. And I know, Amac, she ate you up. So funny. Oh, there's a guy teacher that dance battles with his students too. That's so funny. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for being here. I'm really glad that you hung out with me to talk about, those who survived those tornadoes out in Iowa. I did actually, I did a short on the stage collapse in Mexico, and I uploaded it to TikTok, which, interestingly enough, TikTok put a censor on it and I didn't show anything graphic in my video, but I realized I forgot to upload it to YouTube. So I will be uploading that short later tonight. I did hear about Muddy Baby. I did. I actually saw that video. Actually, let's see if I can find it. I got a little bit of time. When I saw that, I was like, OMG. I just saw that. It was just maybe a couple days ago. Let's see. Yeah, that was and it was weird. I think it's because I've been watching a lot of tornado videos, but that one was from 99. So wasn't that more Oklahoma? I feel like it was, I know it was Oklahoma, but let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, here, Mud Baby found after, so there, it says, do you remember? Oh yeah, so they were, nope, that's not what I wanted. But I did see the short. That's the one I had seen. Oh, here's a short clip. So this again was from 1999. I mean, this is, freaking amazing. So again, okay, so it was Bridge Creek, more tornado. Okay, so it was more Oklahoma. So on May 3rd, 1999, an amazing rescue during the Bridge Creek Moore tornado was caught on tape. This little baby. 10-month-old Aaliyah, her mother, and grandmother were swept into the tornado. Her mother was holding on to Aaliyah until she slammed into a tree. And that also massive, and I believe that was an EF5, if I'm not mistaken. A sheriff's deputy found Aaliyah hundreds of feet away. She earned the title of Mud Baby. And seemingly untouched, besides having mud. Aaliyah and her mother survived, but her grandmother died that day. The tornado killed 46 people, injured 800, and damaged thousands of homes in its path. Yep, so I actually the short came up in my feed, and I agree, like, just amazing. I did see that, Pookie. They've been hit twice by an F5. And, I mean, if anything, it shows the resiliency of that town. I mean, I would have been like, nope. Nope. Not today, Satan. Not happening again. So, thanks for sharing that, moderator. But yeah, seemingly untouched. Untouched. All right, y'all. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your night. I am off to eat some dinner and hang out with the kittens. And I don't think I'll be live tomorrow, but on Sunday, we do have Wordsy Sunday now instead. We're going to do a weekend Wordsy because I don't work on Monday. So I believe I scheduled that for 7 p.m. Eastern, maybe 7:30, but I'm pretty sure it was 7 Eastern. So I hope to see you all then. If anything else does happen, I will be live tomorrow to cover it, but otherwise, I will see you all on Sunday. So have a great rest of your night. And until next time, I will see you all on the flip side.